Okay, so I created this custom GPT to interview you so that you can easily create an article with it. You can edit it when it's done interviewing you. And you can also tell the GPT to turn your interview into an article. It's a really great way of creating content based on your own expertise. Something else that I've done with this is I turn on screen recording so that I can actually record the interview and I can use those clips on social media. So there are a couple of prompts here to get you started. Interview me for an article or interview me to practice for a podcast. So I'll start with the first one, interview me for an article. It'll ask you if you have a specific topic in mind or if you'd like it to suggest some topics and how long you want the interview to be, 15, 30, or 60 minutes. It doesn't do a great job of sticking to that time limit, but it helps. So if you do 15 minutes, it'll be a short interview, 60 minutes, it'll be a longer interview. So you can ask it for some ideas. So let's see what that comes up with first. And this is just based on my previous ChatGPT history, so it knows some of the things that I'm an expert in already. Lessons from my entrepreneurial journey, how to build a business, future of your industry, and predictions for 2024 or 2025 and beyond. So you do have some topics there. You can also refine them or choose a different category. I'm going to change it up entirely. I'm just going to go with a game that I've been playing recently, Indiana Jones on Xbox. It does ask for your full name, your preferred pseudonym, and pronouns, and I included that so that the chat can refer to you by your name or by your preferred pronouns, he or him, she, things like that. And it asks if you would like to record this interview. It gives you some quick tips there. Now's a good time to start recording using QuickTime, Zoom, OBS. I'm recording right now with OBS. And it does ask if you have a bio so that the chat can introduce you. Or it can craft one for you. And if you're good with the bio that it came up with, you can move forward from there. And then it tells you, great, everything's set. When you're ready, click the voice chat button, say, let's start the interview. So I'll go into voice mode. Let's start the interview.
Welcome to the show. Today we have Alex Joel, a passionate gamer and industry enthusiast who has been following gaming trends for years. With a deep love for action-adventure games and a keen eye for gameplay mechanics, Alex is here to share his first impressions of the highly anticipated Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Xbox. Alex, welcome to the show. To kick things off, what were your initial expectations going into Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? Were you excited, skeptical, or somewhere in between?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. So to jump right into it, I was really excited for this game just because I saw a lot of previews of the game before it released, people who got the game early. And they were saying that the game was amazing. So I had a feeling that I would really like it, and I was really excited for it to hit the Xbox and play it.
That's awesome. It sounds like the early impressions built up a lot of anticipation for you. Now that you've had a chance to play it, do you feel like the game lives up to the hype? What are some of the standout aspects that really impressed you right away?
Yeah, it does live up to the hype. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've put in probably, maybe probably closer to 10 hours so far.
It really stays true to Indiana Jones as a character, resourceful but not ruthless. It sounds like the game's physics and interactions feel more grounded and realistic, which makes the action even more immersive. How does the overall combat feel? Do you find it challenging, or is it more cinematic and focused on the adventure aspect?
The combat is challenging. Just like how I mentioned before with him climbing up the wall, and they try to make it realistic, like an actual human struggling to climb up a wall on a whip. The combat is like that. He uses his fists if you don't have a tool in his hand, and he'll use his fist to fist fight, and it's not fast. It is pretty challenging. You do have to learn how to block because you can't just go in there swinging and beat all the bad guys that way. So yeah, it's a tough game.
Alex, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thanks for sharing your first impressions of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Before we close out, where can people follow you if they want to hear more of your thoughts on gaming? Alex, thanks again for joining us and sharing your thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Looking forward to hearing more of your gaming insights in the future. Would you like me to compile this interview into a well-structured article for you?
I cut a lot of that interview out because you didn't need to watch the whole thing, but I think the interview lasted for about 10 to 12 minutes or so. So it came pretty close to that 15 minutes. And just for some initial impressions on a game that I haven't even finished yet, I'd say 12 to 15 minutes is pretty good. So once it ends, it'll ask you if you want to structure it into an article. This doesn't always work the way I want it to, so usually I close the voice chat at this point, and then I tell it to create a draft from the interview. And you'll see as it's creating it, it organizes it all into really good sections. Now, this will still have a lot of that ChatGPT style language, so you do need to go in here and edit it just like you would anything else out of ChatGPT, but it has a lot of your own thoughts mixed in here. So it's going to have your expertise. It's not going to be generic like a lot of ChatGPT stuff is, so it makes it a lot easier to create content, and good content. And that's pretty much it. Once you have the article there, you can edit it, publish it, and if you recorded it using QuickTime or whatever you're using, then you can cut that up, your interview, into segments and publish it on social media. And you'll see some of the benefits of this too, that it kind of gets you thinking on your feet. It guides you in a lot of places, so it really helps you think about some of the things that you probably didn't think about going into it. And a lot of the questions can be a bit of a surprise, so you really have to try to think about unique things that you didn't think you were going to say. I think it's very much like an interview.